Hello everyone, and welcome to this very brief instructional video on the new Elluminate version 11. We're currently using version 10, and Elluminate have just advised me that they're going to move to version 11. By the way, the name of Elluminate has changed. It was taken over by a company called Blackboard, which took over the Elluminate product and another product called Wimber, a similar product, and they've amalgamated the two and they call it Blackboard Collaborate. So you'll notice the name, the little symbol up in the top right hand corner here of Blackboard, and you'll notice the name at the top that refers to Blackboard Collaborate. So we haven't changed the software, they've just changed the name, but they have changed the version. So I'm just going to go through a couple of things quickly with you today. By the way, the all-important audio check, which is again Tools, Audio Setup Wizard, hasn't changed. Still in the same place, still on the toolbar, and as we always say, it's important that you do that every time you log in. Now, the other thing that we need to just point to, or one of the things, is that the talk button is now here, and instead of having that other thing that said something about click F2 or something, it now says talk, and it's right at the top of the screen. Rather than being at the bottom, so you can't miss that. And again, same concept applies in terms of how to use it. The emoticons down here are up now in a different spot to where they were, and instead of having all of them there, where they used to have, I think, the 4 of them, the smiley face, the confused face, or whatever, now they actually, when you click a drop down menu, you can actually see them, and they've actually got different ones here. They've now added the laugh out loud smiley face. Not exactly sure why they needed to add that, but that's another one. So there they are, they're located behind there. So all you'll see normally then is just a single smiley face on the screen. This is the button that was what I call the blue door button, where you used to say I'm just going away for a bit. Click that to go to be away. As you can see, puts away next to your name, and then click and you're back again. This is raising the hand, a lot less obvious than before. They've really tried to sort of cram in the real estate here, I think, too, so that's not a bad thing. And if there's ever any questions or asks of piloting, remember these things used to be sitting there all the time on the old system. So now instead of putting them there, they now just put an icon and you've got to go and find them. Chat down the bottom, much the same as before. If you're going to private chat, then you can click on the names of the people. Again, there'll be a list there of the attendees. You can click on that and private chat with them. Just pretty much the same as before. Now, the only other thing that I want to talk about, the thing that we probably use the most, is this is writing on the whiteboard. Probably, I'll just create a nice white new page there. The buttons, again, a little bit different down here, and in fact you might be seeing slightly different buttons here to what you would normally see, but this is the key button here. See this one, the A, that has the text, the lines on it? Because if you click on that, it brings up the other one, and they call this one a text label, but it's far less flexible on the page. You can certainly type with it, but text doesn't wrap, it doesn't move very well, you can't make lists with it very well. As I say, it's a label, so ideally what we want is this one, and as you can see on the screen there, when you've clicked on that and it's ready to create the text box, it actually shows you that it's activated, and as we've said before, create the text box and type away like that, if you could spell that. Now, and of course, with this, having a text box like this does enable you to make lists, should you want to, and you can sort of list things underneath each other like that, so it's very neat. And the other thing, of course, of creating a text box like this is once you've created it, and if you wanted to then correct a typo like that, you just hop inside. You can then just move it. So if you say, well, we've got more collaboration happening, let's let's bring our other somebody else into chat here, and we'll move theirs up the top and we'll move that one down the bottom and so on. I've put up a video before and gone through this, so you know where I'm coming from, but probably not a bad chance to reiterate that. One thing that is good, one thing that they fixed, which was silly before, is it now defaults to 14-point font. Remember, it used to default to 20-point font, which is kind of you scribbled all over the page. But that's where you can change the opacity, as they call it, so you can have your color, the level of opacity, the font design, and the font size, and then whether you want to add those to it. So if you wanted to make that heading bold, for example, well, you could highlight that, make it bold, and then in the areas underneath it, take the bold off, and as I said before, list things. And that's an important way to do it. And again, they don't have to all be underneath one another too. So if you want to move that one over to that side and pick this one up, make it a bit shorter, and then move it over here so that they're sort of side by side. You know, that's all okay. And you might want to click on that line and put a dividing line between them, so you could have yes and no things, left and right, whatever. I'm not sure we're necessarily going to use those boxes and squares and circles and things like that, but if you want to click on those, you can. So that's basically the major changes. It's really not a lot of difference, but just a change in the real estate and how they've used it on the screen. The other thing is I'm using 150% size here. The default is that the screen, the whiteboard, or the PowerPoint you're looking at, fits the page, quote unquote. And for most purposes this is okay. The 14-point font on my screen, I like 14-point font because it's small and you can fit lots of it in there. But if you need to have it bigger, then you can go to 150 or even 200%, and you have the option to do that, and you can make the whole thing quite large and quite legible. And then if it starts to get too big on the screen and you think, I can't see all the screen, I need to see a little bit more of the screen, then you can push it back. So that's the main thing. If you have any questions at all about anything about this, don't hesitate to contact us. Otherwise, good luck for the semester. As I said in the opening slide, this is actually due to start, so I've been advised, on the 23rd of July, which I think is next weekend. So this week's classes meaning the classes starting the 18th of July. But after that, in the following week's classes, don't be surprised if you come in and find that this is the different interface. Now, the other thing is that is important, and this is important to make a note of here, you really do need to allow yourself time to load this. It actually does take, because the version change needs to reload the software, it doesn't take forever. It depends on your upload speed, or your download speed, but really it's about, you need to allow a good 15 minutes. So I guess my point is, don't arrive in a class 3 minutes from start time, because if you do and you get in there and you click on the button to go to this, it actually wants to reload the software right from scratch, and you'll be about a quarter past the hour before you get into the class. So just a word of warning there, get in early, and what I'm going to do is send you a link to my V room, my personal room, to practice in, to have a look around, and also once you go into that V room, that'll give you an opportunity to upload the software, so maybe you could take advantage of that ahead of time. Alright, thanks everybody. Of course, at any time if you need anything, drop us a line, training@cbfca.com.au, NCBC for those who are doing the National Customs Brokers course at cbfca.com.au, or DIF for the Diploma of International Freight Forwarding at cbfca.com.au. Thanks again everyone. Bye.